Welcome to today's broadcast. No matter what kind of day you are having, please remember that God is big and He is good. He is bigger and better than you think. Children should be free to live as long as possible in innocence. Like Adam and Eve before the fall, children should not have to live with an awareness of good or evil. They should just be able to live. Jesus refers to this childhood innocence as a critical component in the kingdom of heaven. We read in Matthew 19:13 through 15. Then little children were brought to him that he might put his hands on them and pray. But the disciples rebuked them. But Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not forbid them, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." And he laid his hands on them and departed from there. It is difficult for any of us here in the United States to imagine childhood innocence for any kid who has access to a TV or a computer. But Jesus used the example of the innocence of children long before any child had access to good and evil through digital means. Innocence is quickly lost in our culture, and innocent children quickly become hardened adults because of a premature exposure to both good and evil. To take advantage of God's offer of grace, I have to think back to an age of innocence and receive His grace in innocence. This is what Jesus means when He calls us to become as little children. We read in Matthew 18, verses 1 through 3. At that time the disciples came to Jesus, saying, "Who then is greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Then Jesus called a little child to Him, set him in the midst of them, and said, "Assuredly I say to you, unless you are converted and become as little children, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven." I simply cannot enter into His grace if I'm not entering with a childlike innocence. I simply cannot expect to walk into God's grace if I am dragging my past with me. Whether I am a severe underachiever, a successful overachiever, or anything in between, I cannot keep dragging my past around with me if I ever want to step into God's grace. For more, please visit givemethatmountain.org, and you have a wonderful day.